and welcome to my channel. So today I've got a tag video for you. This is, let me get this right, the mid-year freak out colouring book tag. So yeah, I was tagged for this by Emma from Emma Colours 2020, thank you. And also this was started by Sassy Colouring, and I will leave links below in the description to both of those ladies' channels if you'd like to check them out. So we've got 10 sort of questions to talk about today, so quite a quick one. I thought I'd better get going because it's supposed to be like a half-year thing. Anyway, so question 1. Best picture you've coloured so far. So this is the Kew Gardens Delightful Colouring Book, and it's a grayscale book, so I did cheat a little bit in how I do love this picture and how it turned out, but yeah, it is grayscale, so it's kind of cheating. So this is one where the botanists of like the Victorian era all catalogued the flowers for Kew Gardens and the like. And so we have the original sketch here, and then you get a grayscale version to just, you know, emulate the colours, or you can do your own thing if you want. I kind of tried to emulate it. I used luminance pencils to do this, and I really enjoyed it. And also I like this book because it's one of those little hand-sized ones. So yeah, that is definitely the best picture I've coloured this year, I think. Or it's certainly my favourite serious picture anyway. So yeah, that's that one. Obviously, as per usual, I will leave links below in the description to all of these books if you want to check them out on Amazon and the like. Right, so what's your most coloured book? If you've been around, you know what's going to come up, because it always comes up. It comes up in everything. So this is this is like my favourite no thinky book, and I've nearly finished it now, but it's definitely my most coloured book. And that's the extra pages at the back, but it's basically just simple. You're supposed to do it one colour. I won't show it all because, like I say, I've nearly finished. So one day I'll be able to do a full flip through of this book, but not yet. That is one colour relaxation, so Art Animal Stencils, and it's a book by Sun Life Drawing. Next, newly released colouring book that I've not coloured in. So this is still relatively new, and yeah, I hate to say it, but it's Johanna Basford's World of Wonder. I'm a big Johanna Basford fan. I don't know why. I can't. I love looking at it, but I haven't yet been able to. I've not gone past that point where I'm like, yeah, I want to stop looking at it and I want to start doing in it. If that makes sense. One day it happened. I go through phases, and I go through phases with artists. So, you know, obviously I really love all of Johanna's books. She's the artist that basically got me into colouring, seriously anyway. And yeah, there's never a time where I'm not going to enjoy her books, I don't think. But for now, this is a virgin book. I love it. I look at these pictures, and every time I look at them, I think, oh, it's really cool. But I just haven't got to that point where I want to stop thinking it's cool to look at and actually, you know, put colour to paper. One day soon, hopefully, but not yet. So yeah, that is my Johanna Basford Worlds of Wonder. Okay, so that's my book of shame. What have we got next? Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Right, well, I honestly, I don't think I've got anything on my list that's coming out in the latter part of this year that I'm aware of. There's Melpomene Chatsy-Panzio-2's Mandala book, but that's next March, and I think Kirby has got another book coming out in March or April, something like that. And so I've got my eye on them, but there isn't anything else that I've got particularly on my radar, apart from, I would say that because we're coming into like that good time of the year, so we've got Halloween coming up and we've got Christmas coming up, and there are always new books for both of those. So let's just say I'm looking forward to getting my hands on at least one new Halloween book and one new Christmas book. I don't care what it'll be. It could be a colour by number, or it could be something more serious. Just there's lots of new releases around it, and I know there's going to be something in there that I like. So yeah, it'll be like Halloween or Christmas is what I'm looking forward to. Okay, favourite new artist or publishing company discovered. This is relevant to what I was just talking about, really. Let's move Johanna out of the way. Bye, Johanna. Right, so talking of Melpomene Chatsy-Panzio-2, The Circle of Life. I know it might be, you must, if you've seen a few of these tags, you've probably seen this book come up a lot. It's unsurprising because it's like every now and again there's a book that comes out of left field that like nobody really knew about beforehand, but then everybody sees it and they know it's a good book. And this is a lovely book, really cool artwork, and it kind of looks difficult when really it's not, when you break it down into what it's made up of. These themselves are quite mandala-y, and yeah, I love this book. It was like a real, as soon as I saw it, I think I saw it on Colouring with Kay's channel first. She did a flip through, and I knew she was like 6 or 7 pages in. I was just like, I want that book. I want that book. And it was only like £5 as well, which is insane. Such good value. It's the same publisher as who publishes Kirby Rosanes's books in the UK anyway. So yeah, it's all the same paper and format. Fab book. And this was just like, yeah, a highlight of artist that I've discovered this year. What have we got next? Did you try any new colouring techniques? Ish. So I thought about this, and I can't say I particularly did. I mean, I've been trying to use more things in backgrounds, and you know, watercolour pencils I've tried a couple more times to use because I don't use them that often. But I've got this book, and I thought this does kind of count. So this is the Animal Woodcut Designs by Creative Haven, and it's a really good, it's a really unusual style because it's not grayscale, and yet in a way it is, and it basically does its grayscale by using more black, more solid air in the areas. So what I did, I chose this sort of technique to colour in, and even though these rabbits, for example, were just like that, but you can see there was more where I've coloured in, which would have been the white areas. I did in a lighter colour, and then they've put more black in between this, you know, the hairs of the fur on that side. So I took that as being like they wanted it darker, and this is where I sort of wove in, you know, dark colours. Tried to think about it being, you know, sleek fur and all this sort of malarkey. It's a different style. So whilst it wasn't particularly, it was a new technique. It was a new technique that was encouraged by the book that I was colouring in, as opposed to, you know, learning to do something else like as a proper technique. But I think it still counts. I think it still counts because I really love this picture. This is a good book. I need to colour in this book again. I kind of put it away because I didn't get around to. I've been so busy over the summer. Last month and this month I've not done that much colouring because summer. But yeah, when the days start getting shorter, and I'll be more into colouring again. So I'm sure that book will come out more. So what have we got next? What book do you most want to finish this year? Well, that's obvious. Back to this one, isn't it? As I say, I've nearly finished it. I think I've got like 5 pictures left, something like that. Not much. Basically, if I crack down, I could probably do it next month if I really wanted to. It's not that hard to do 5 pictures. They're very simple pictures. So yeah, that is my goal. The one and only goal. Because I've never finished a book. Never ever finished a book. Ever. Not even like a dot to dot. I'm so rubbish. So even though it's a simple book, just a little simple book, it's going to be major. Like there'll be fanfares and all sorts of things. It's just like it's angels singing just when I finish this book, just because it's that much of a miracle. So yeah, that is that one. And the next one is, have you completed any colouring books? Which I've just answered, no, never, ever. So not even close, not even a little bit, not even halfway. Just so yeah, this is it's all about this one. Right. Is there any colouring book that you bought that you regret? Do you know what? I thought about this, and no, I don't think I do have any regrets, out and out regrets. But I do have a couple of books, like this one, for instance, where I saw it for the same reason I like that Art Animal Stencils, and I thought, oh, because I'm nearly finishing that one, I thought, oh, this would be a really good sort of replacement for when that one goes. And I've seen lots of cool pictures done it, I like the cover on it and I like the back cover, and then for whatever reason I decided to flick through and try, and I'd look at these pictures where they're not done and think, well, I can't make out what it is, because, you know, sometimes you can tell from the pattern what it is. I can't make out what it is. I think I'll colour one of those ones, and it'll be a nice surprise. And the trouble is, when you colour them in, you still can't. These are flowers, I think, but it's just like, it's rubbish. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to go there. I think that's rubbish because I can hardly tell what it is. I can't really see that they're flowers. I'm just going by process of elimination. So I thought, all right, so it was just bad luck. I picked a bad picture the first time. So I'm not learning from my lesson. Well, I think actually this is the one I did first. and it's like I think a peacock, and this is its tail. But again, I wasn't overly impressed with it, so I know that I went for this one afterwards in the end, because I knew I could see it was a turtle before I coloured it in, and I thought, yeah, we'll go for that. And that is a bit better, but it's not so much that I'm disappointed with it, but more that I got a little bit excited about getting this book. I know, I'm sad. I get excited about colour by number book, but whatever. But you know, I was just really looking forward to getting it, because I thought I would like this style. And so far it didn't quite live up to my expectations, which is probably more about me like elevating it up to something better than it should have been. But hopefully I'll do a couple more pictures in here and I'll come to love it. But that's the closest I've come. It's not a regret. I was the same with the Kira Sheshneva, the Tetris book. Again, I picked a picture that was like difficult to see what it was, even like when it was uncoloured. So when I did colour it in, it was a bit jumbly. So yeah, those two books are two books that not so much that I regret buying, but more that they didn't live up to what I hoped would be. But hopefully they still will one day. Right, so that's it. I went a bit of a wibble there, sorry. One more, last one. If you could recommend any new colouring book, what is it? Okay, so this one I had to have a long think about. I really did. And I decided it's impossible to answer, because, you know, you should never just blindly recommend a colouring book to a person, because you don't know what the person likes. So it's no good me saying buy this Johanna Basford book, because the person might hate flowers, or they prefer colour by numbers. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I would go for something though that I thought was relatively safe. It's not quite colour by numbers, but the variety of it is something else. So I am going to recommend Colouring Heaven. If you can get this on, or if you're in the UK, you can buy it from supermarkets and stuff. But you can also get this on subscription, and it does ship worldwide. And there are perks to buying it. It's like a sort of membership club thing that they do for it if you buy. And when you subscribe, I think it works out to less than £4 an issue, which is great value, because there's 40 pictures. But they're all really, really good quality. I mean, even the paper might not be the best paper, but the paper isn't bad. And just, even though I haven't coloured in Colouring Heaven for a few months now, because I've just not been in the mood for that kind of colouring, but I still don't regret getting my Colouring Heaven pictures, because they have so much variety. They have grayscale, we had this one, which was unicorns. It was just like, you know, there's just something for everybody. And it really pushes you sometimes outside your comfort zone. Also, where is it? So it was the one I showed first. I'd never heard of Maud Lemoyne. And she has fantastic images. She reminds me a bit of Jana Prosperina, that style. And then also Josh Lee. I first heard Josh Lee has his own colouring books, and you can buy them on Amazon and places. But I'd never heard of Josh Lee until Colouring Heaven had an issue of his like last year, and it was brilliant. So yeah, Colouring Heaven. I'll leave a link down to Anthem Publishing should you be interested. You can buy issues, just single issues, or you can buy a subscription, and like I say, they do ship worldwide. And I just think for the price point that they sit at, and the quality of the artists and the paper and just everything, and the variety. And yes, sometimes there are issues that don't really do it for you, but then there's other issues, that knock it out the park. So yes, we went for a nice safe recommendation there. And the good thing about them is they come out every 4 weeks, which means even if you don't like any of these, you might like the next one. So that's my recommendation. That is it for today and this tag. I'm not going to tag anybody, because it is supposed to be like a half-year tag, and it is kind of late already, so I think most people have probably done it by now. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care and see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.